Welcome to English Podcast.
I am Lisa.
And I'm Eric. Do you want to improve your English easily? If so, you're in the right place.
Okay, let's listen to the podcast about how to stay positive and motivated.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Simple Chats in English. Today we're talking about how to stay positive and motivated. Mark, what do you think?
Hi, Sally. Hi, everyone. First and foremost, setting small goals really helps me. I like goals that I can finish in a day or two. When I achieve them, I feel good, and it keeps me motivated.
I love that idea. Small wins add up and make a big difference. For me, I also start the day with a positive thought, like, today is a new chance. It helps me set the right mood for the day. Do you ever do anything like that?
Positive thoughts are key. It's easy to focus on what's wrong, but just thinking about one good thing, like a sunny day, helps a lot. It could be anything small, like enjoying a good cup of coffee. Little moments matter.
Exactly. I even write them down sometimes. Seeing it on paper reinforces the feeling. I feel like keeping a journal really helps keep me on track, especially on tough days.
That's a great habit. I think I should start doing that too. I also find breaks super helpful. When I feel stressed, I stop for a moment. Just a quick walk or some deep breaths. It clears my head and helps me reset.
Same here. It's amazing what a small break can do. Sometimes I'll just step outside for 5 minutes. It makes a world of difference. Oh, and I also keep my workspace tidy. A clean space keeps my mind clear, you know?
Absolutely. A tidy space means a tidy mind. I also turn to music. Upbeat songs help me get back into a positive mood. And sometimes I dance a bit. It's fun and helps a lot. It's silly, but it works.
Dancing is a fantastic idea, Mark. Music really does lift your spirits. I think finding what makes you happy, whether it's music, cooking, or chatting with a friend, is crucial. I know some people love baking and others just love calling a loved one. It's all about finding your own way.
For sure. Everyone has their own thing. Staying positive isn't about ignoring challenges. It's about focusing on what you can do. Small actions make a big difference.
Totally agree. And positivity takes practice. It's not always natural, especially on tough days. But the more we practice, the easier it gets. It's like training a muscle. Over time, it gets stronger. And on those bad days, even the smallest effort can change everything.
You're right, Sally. Everyone has tough days, but remember, every cloud has a silver lining. It's important not to get stuck in that mindset. Taking action helps change how we feel, even if it's just a small task or talking to someone. The key is to keep moving forward.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be a big move. Even a small step forward can make a difference. I like to set little rewards too. If I finish a task, I reward myself with a small treat, like a nice tea break. What about you, Mark?
I do the same. It could be something as simple as watching an episode of my favorite show or eating a piece of chocolate.
Yes, it's important to find balance in your routine. Stick to your plan when needed, but also know when to take a break.
I totally agree, Sally. Remember that. Every small step matters, and staying motivated is all about consistency. You can do it.
Absolutely. Remember, everyone, even the smallest effort can lift your spirits. Stay positive and stay motivated, everyone. Bye.
Hey Lisa, what did you think about the episode today?
I really liked it, Eric. I especially liked the idea of rewarding yourself with small treats.
Yeah, me too. I think our listeners will find those suggestions really helpful.
Me too. Okay, well, let's have a look at the words today.
The first word today is tidy. Then we will continue with first and foremost and to ignore, then to stick to. And the final one is every cloud has a silver lining.
Let's start with the first word.
The first word is tidy.
Tidy.
First, Let's hear how it is used in the podcast.
And I also keep my workspace tidy. A tidy space means a tidy mind.
Tidy is an adjective, and it means something that is neat and in order. For example, when you clean your room and put everything in its proper place, your room is tidy.
Ah, I see. So it's when there is no mess around. You could say, my desk is tidy.
Exactly. Tidy can describe not just rooms, but other places too. Your garden, kitchen, or even your car can be tidy if it's neat and well organized.
Right. And it's worth noting that tidy is a word we use in everyday English. It's casual and friendly, so you can use it with friends or at work.
Good point, Lisa. Now, let's look at the opposite of tidy. The opposite is messy. So, if your room has clothes on the floor and books are everywhere, you would say, my room is messy. But after cleaning, it becomes tidy.
Here's another example. Sarah always keeps her desk tidy at work so she can find things quickly. This shows that being tidy can help everybody stay organized.
That's a great example, Lisa. Let's talk about grammar for a moment. The word tidy can also be used as a verb. For example, you might say, I need to tidy my room. It means you make your room clean and in order.
Yes. And if you're doing it right now, you would say, I am tidying my room.
Perfect. So, listeners, tidy is a very common and handy word to know.
Okay, well, that's all for the word tidy. Let's move on to the next word, Eric.
The next word is first and foremost.
First and foremost.
Let's listen to how it is used in the podcast.
First and foremost, setting small goals really helps me.
Lisa, have you heard this phrase before?
Oh yes, Eric. It's one of those phrases that makes you sound clear and confident. But what exactly does it mean?
First and foremost is an idiom. We use it when we want to emphasize what's most important in a list of things. It's like saying, most importantly.
So, can we use it when you want to highlight the most important thing in a sentence?
Exactly, Lisa. For example, if I say, first and foremost, we need to be honest, it means being honest is the most important thing before anything else.
I see. It's like saying, first of all, but a little stronger.
Yes, that's right. It's a more formal way to express priority. Let's use it in another example. First and foremost, safety comes before speed in this race. Here, the sentence emphasizes that safety is more important than anything else.
That makes sense.
But keep in mind it's best for formal or serious conversations. You might hear it in business meetings or when giving advice.
Got it. And what comes after it? Can we just list other things after we say first and foremost?
Definitely. After you say first and foremost, you can mention other important items. For instance, first and foremost, you should study vocabulary, then practice speaking and listening.
This is great. Let me try. First and foremost, they are looking for ways to save money.
Perfect. You used it well. Remember, this phrase helps show what's most important, so it gives weight to your point.
Thanks, Eric. That really clears things up. Okay, well, shall we move on to the next word?
Let's do that. The next word is ignore.
Ignore.
Let's hear how Mark used the word.
Staying positive isn't about ignoring challenges. It's about focusing on what you can do.
Ignore is a verb. When you ignore something or someone, you purposely choose not to pay attention to them.
Oh, I see. If someone tries to talk to me and I don't respond, that means I'm ignoring them?
Exactly. Ignoring is always intentional. For example, if someone talks to you and you look at your phone instead of responding, you are ignoring them on purpose.
Got it. But what if I don't notice someone? Because I'm focused on something else. Is that still ignoring?
Good question, Lisa. No, if you don't notice someone because you're busy, that's not ignoring. You just missed seeing them. Ignoring means making a conscious choice not to pay attention.
Oh, that makes sense. So, if I don't hear someone call my name, I didn't ignore them. I just didn't notice.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about an example. Imagine you're at work. If a colleague you don't want to talk to walks by and says hello, and you look away and don't respond, you are ignoring them on purpose.
That's a good example. It's like deciding to pretend something isn't there.
Right. Now, let's see when and where you can use ignore. It is a neutral word, so you can use it in formal and informal situations. For example, in a meeting, you could say, let's ignore that detail for now and come back to it later. Or, casually, I'm going to ignore my phone and relax.
Good example, Eric. Okay, well, I think our listeners understand the meaning of ignoring well now. Let's move on to the next word.
The next word is to stick to something.
To stick to something.
Let's hear how Mark used the word.
Stick to your plan when needed, but also know when to take a break.
To stick to is a phrasal verb. It means to continue doing something without changing it or to follow a plan, rule, or path.
So, if I'm following my diet plan without making any changes, I'm sticking to it?
Exactly, Lisa. That's a perfect example. When you say, I'm sticking to my diet, it means that you follow the plan without breaking it.
Can we use it in other contexts too, like at work or with study habits?
Absolutely. Let's look at another example. Imagine you decided to study for 2 hours every day. If you follow that plan and don't skip any days, you can say, I stick to my study schedule.
That's really useful. Another example, Eric?
And here's another example for work. If a team decides to follow a specific strategy for a project, if someone suggests changing the plan, they might say, no, let's stick to our original strategy. Now, a useful grammar tip. To stick to is often followed by a noun or noun phrase. For example, you can say, stick to the plan, stick to the schedule, or stick to your goals.
That makes sense. Can we use stick to in both casual and formal situations?
Yes, to stick to is flexible. You can use it in formal situations, like we should stick to the agenda for this meeting, and in informal situations, such as I need to stick to my budget this month.
Perfect. Okay, well, I think now our followers understand the phrase to stick to better. Let's move on to our last word.
The last word is, every cloud has a silver lining.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Now, let's see how this word is used in the podcast.
Everyone has tough days, but remember, every cloud has a silver lining.
It is an idiom. It means that even in a bad or difficult situation, there is always something good or positive that can come from it.
That's right. It's like when you have a really bad day, but then you learn something important from it. That learning is the silver lining.
Here's another sentence. Sarah didn't get the job she wanted, but she found out that the company wasn't right for her. So every cloud has a silver lining. This means that even though Sarah was disappointed, there was a positive side to the situation.
Good example, Eric. Here's another one. If you get stuck at home because it's raining, you might feel upset that your plans are ruined. But then, you realize you can relax with a good book or spend time with family. The silver lining here is the unexpected quality time.
Now, let's talk about when and how to use this phrase. You usually use every cloud has a silver lining when you want to remind someone to stay positive or look for the good in difficult times.
That's a good tip. Is this idiom used in formal or informal situations?
This idiom is neutral, so you can use it in both formal and informal situations. It's common and widely understood.
Great. It's nice to have a phrase to encourage someone when they're feeling down.
So, remember, If you face a challenge or something bad happens, try to find the silver lining. It's a good way to stay positive.
Well, that's it for today's episode of Simply Explained English. We hope you found the words helpful and the explanations easy to understand.
Thanks for listening. Keep studying your English
And stay tuned. Bye for now. I am Lisa.
And I'm Eric. Do you want to improve your English easily? If so, you're in the right place.
Okay, let's listen to the podcast about the exciting future of artificial intelligence.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Simple Chats in English. Today, we have a very exciting topic, the evolution of artificial intelligence, or AI. It seems like AI is everywhere these days. What do you think, Mark?
Hey, Sally, it sure does. AI has come a long way in just a few years. It used to be something you'd only see in movies, but now it's a part of our everyday lives. From virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa to AI, that can help us find things online or even recommend what to watch next. It's everywhere.
Exactly. It's amazing how far we've come. AI can now even write text, paint pictures, and help with medical diagnoses. But Mark, where do you think AI is heading next?
Great question, Sally. I think we're going to see AI become even more helpful in our daily lives. For example, we might have smarter robots at home that can do more than just vacuum, maybe even cook simple meals or help with other chores. I think we're going to see AI become even more helpful in our daily lives.
That would be incredible. Imagine having a robot that could help cook dinner after a long day. I think AI is also going to be used more in healthcare. Maybe it can help doctors find the best treatments or even problems sooner.
Absolutely, Sally. AI is already starting to do those things. But as it gets better, it could save a lot of lives. And not just in healthcare. I think education will also change because of AI. It could become like a personal tutor for students, helping them learn at their own speed.
That's a great point, Mark. Personalized learning could make education so much better. And AI might also help think outside the box when solving big problems like climate change by analyzing lots of data and suggesting the best ways to reduce pollution. It could even help predict earthquakes before they happen, giving people time to prepare and save lives.
I agree. It would be really fantastic to predict earthquakes before they happen. But of course, we also have to be careful. AI can do a lot of good, but we need to make sure it's used responsibly. People are starting to talk more about rules and ethics around AI to make sure it's not used in harmful ways.
That's very true. Technology like AI has so much power, but it has to be used wisely. It's exciting, but we need to think about the consequences too. So Mark, what would you say is the most exciting thing about the future of AI?
When it comes to the most exciting thing about AI in the future, I'd say it will make life easier. Imagine spending less time on boring tasks and more time on things you love. That's what excites me the most. What about you, Sally?
I find it exciting that AI can help solve important problems like health and the environment. It feels like AI could really make a difference in the world.
Definitely. And we're just at the beginning of seeing what AI can do. It's going to be quite a journey, and we're lucky to be part of it.
Absolutely, Mark. It's an exciting time to be alive. AI could also be important for industries like transportation.
Imagine self-driving cars becoming more common, making our roads safer and reducing accidents.
And even agriculture could change. AI might help farmers grow more food efficiently, which could help solve hunger issues worldwide. We'd love to hear what you all think. Where do you see AI going next? Share your thoughts with us and maybe we'll talk about it in our next episode.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Remember, the future is full of possibilities, especially with AI on the rise. Stay curious.
Bye for now.
Hey Lisa, what did you think about Sally and Mark's discussion today?
I thought it was really interesting. They made AI sound so exciting and full of possibilities.
Absolutely. I especially like the part where they talked about AI helping with personalized education. It's such a game changer.
I agree. And predicting earthquakes? That could save so many lives. It's fascinating how AI can make such a difference in various areas.
I totally agree, Lisa.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the words today.
Okay, Lisa. The first word today is harmful. Then we will continue with to head and when it comes to. Then have come a long way. And the final one is think outside the box.
Let's start with the first word.
Today's first word is harmful.
Harmful.
First, let's hear how it is used in the podcast.
People are starting to talk more about rules and ethics around AI to make sure it's not used in harmful ways.
Harmful. I think I've heard this word before, but what does it mean, Eric?
Harmful is an adjective that means causing harm or damage. It's something that can hurt you, another person, or even the environment. It describes things that are bad or dangerous. For example, we can say, smoking is harmful to your health.
Got it. Smoking can hurt your body, so we say it's harmful.
That's right. Here's another example. Eating too much junk food is harmful to your body. This means eating unhealthy food can make you sick or less healthy.
Those are good examples, Eric. How about this? Staying up too late every night can be harmful to your mental health. This means not getting enough sleep can make your mind tired or stressed.
Perfect. A good thing to remember is that harmful is usually followed by to. For example, we say harmful to your health, not harmful for your health.
I see. Is it formal, Eric?
Yes, it's a bit formal word. We might use it in casual conversations as well, but you can see it often in writing, like in news articles or reports.
Great. Okay, well, I think now our followers understand the word harmful better. Shall we move on to the next word?
Let's do that. The next phrase is head for towards, back, etc.
Head for towards, back, etc.
Now, let's see how this phrase is used in the podcast.
But Mark, where do you think AI is heading next?
To head is a phrasal verb. It means to move or go in a particular direction. We use it to describe where someone is going, often the direction you are going.
Okay, what if I say, I'm heading to the park? Does it mean I'm going to the park? Is it correct?
It's correct, Lisa. You can use it with to as well. Now, let's use it with some other propositions. She is heading towards the school. This means she is going in the direction of the school.
That's clear. Another example could be, we are heading back home now. This means we are returning to our home.
That's right, Lisa.
What about the ship was heading for Cuba, Eric?
Sure, you can use it in that way as well. Let's summarize it. After head, you can add words like for, towards, or back to show the destination or direction.
That makes sense. Is this phrasal verb formal or informal?
It is neutral, Lisa. You can use it in both formal and informal situations. For example, in a work setting, you can say, I'm heading back to the office. And with friends, you might say, we're heading to the cafe.
Oh, so it's really flexible. That's good to know.
Yes, it's a super common word that's easy to use.
All right, everyone. Remember this phrase. You can use it to talk about where you're going or the direction you're moving in. Okay. Well, I think now our followers understand the phrase better. Shall we move on to the next word?
Let's do that. The next phrase is when it comes to.
When it comes to.
Now, let's see how this phrase is used in the podcast, and then we'll explain it in more detail.
When it comes to the most exciting thing about AI in the future, I'd say it will make life easier.
When it comes to is one that people use all the time.
Ooh, good one. Eric, what does it mean?
When it comes to is a phrase we use. when we want to introduce a specific topic or the subject we're talking about. For example, when it comes to cooking, my sister is the best in the family. This means my sister is very good at cooking, and we are talking about cooking now.
That's a great example, Eric. Another one could be, when it comes to playing sports, John is very talented. This means John is really good at sports.
Perfect, Lisa. This phrase is very useful because it helps focus attention on the topic you're about to discuss.
Right. And grammatically, when it comes to is usually followed by a noun or ing verb. For example, you can say when it comes to learning English or when it comes to technology.
That's a good point. And here's something to note. When it comes to is a neutral phrase, so it works in both formal and informal situations.
So we can use it in casual conversations like, when it comes to pizza, I always choose pepperoni. And in more formal ones like, when it comes to customer service, our company is very focused.
Exactly. It's a flexible phrase that you can use in many situations.
Okay, well, that's all for the phrase when it comes to. Let's move on to the next word.
The next word is have come a long way.
Have come a long way.
Let's hear how Mark used it.
AI has come a long way in just a few years.
Have you heard this phrase before, Lisa?
Oh, yes. I hear it a lot in movies and conversations. But let's break it down so our listeners can really understand it.
Have come a long way is an idiom, and it means to make a lot of progress. You can use it to talk about improvement in skills, personal growth, or even how things have changed over time. For example, if someone used to be bad at playing the piano, but now they're amazing, you could say, "Wow, you've come a long way."
Ah, so it's about showing how much better someone or something has become. I like that. For instance, if your English speaking skills have improved, you could say, "My English has come a long way since I started listening to this podcast."
Nice one, Lisa. Here's another. This city has come a long way. There are so many new parks and buildings now. The idiom is usually used in the present perfect tense. You say, has come a long way, or have come a long way. She has come a long way since her first job. Or, we have come a long way in understanding technology.
Got it. Is it formal or informal, Eric?
This idiom is neutral. You can use it in friendly conversations, at work, or even in speeches. It's also a great way to encourage someone and show them how far they've improved.
I see. Okay, well, that's it for the word have come a long way. Let's move on to the last word of today.
The last word is think outside the box.
Think outside the box.
Let's hear how it is used in the podcast.
An AI might also help think outside the box when solving big problems.
Ooh, I love this one. Eric, what does think outside the box mean?
Think outside the box is an idiom, and it means to think in an innovative or different way. It's about finding new ideas that are not usual.
Oh, so it's like being imaginative and solving problems in a very different way.
Exactly. For example, let's say you're trying to save money on groceries. You might say, let's think outside the box for a minute and try to find a better way to sell more.
I see. So, it's about trying something different, even if it's not the usual way of doing things.
Lisa, can you give us another example?
Sure. When we planned the school play, we thought outside the box and used the park instead of renting a fancy place.
That's a perfect example. The park is a unique idea. It's not the typical choice.
Is think outside the box formal or informal, Eric?
It's a bit informal, but you can use it in most situations. For example, in a workplace, you could say, "Okay, team, we really need to think outside of the box if we're going to impress the CEO."
And in a casual chat, I might say, I love how you think outside the box when planning parties.
Perfect.
Got it. Okay, Eric, let's summarize it.
Sure, think outside the box means to be innovative and try new ideas.
It's a fun and useful phrase for both work and daily life, especially when solving problems.
So, next time you face a challenge, try to think outside the box.
Well said, Eric. Well, that's it for today's episode of Simply Explained English. We hope you found the words helpful and the explanations easy to understand.
Thanks for listening. Keep studying your English
And stay tuned. Bye for now.